Alright, first things first, let's pause the overlay so I'm not buffering really bad. Boop, there we go. Make sure my mic is in the right place, all that fun technical stuff. Yep, good, good. Alright, we can get started then. What's good everybody, Jenster here, and we've got a lot to talk about. So right off the bat, before I get into any of the nitty-gritty, we are going to be talking about episode 8 of The Amazing Digital Circus, so of course, major spoiler warning. If you have not seen it yet, please do before engaging in this video in the chat. But with that out of the way, we are going to continue the Caine drawing from the last live stream that I started before episode 8 came out. Boy, what do I have to say? Like, getting right into it right away, here's the craziest part to me. Looking at, like, the comments and stuff of the video itself, apparently a lot of fans didn't actually expect Caine to die. Like, that actually came as a surprise to people. And I kinda get it, because we have one more episode before the whole thing gets wrapped up, and if the main kind of antagonist is gone, where do you go from there? I personally was preparing for it. I thought that it was going to be a lot, to be honest. Like, yeah, it was sad, but in like a constructive criticism way, I actually thought that Caine's death was going to be a lot more sad than it was. Like, I thought it was going to be like where are my words tonight? I thought it was going to be, like, long and drawn out and, like, make you really feel sorry for him. But the fact that it was just a quick bip and he's gone is both funny and awful. So yeah, like, I'm actually surprised people really didn't think that Caine was going to die. I expected it and was trying to mentally prepare myself. But I will also give some credit. What was I gonna say? I lost my train of thought. I didn't expect Caine to die on accident. Like, well, I expected him to die. I thought that they actually were trying to get rid of him. The fact that they were trying to save him, no, I didn't expect him to go out like that. I thought it was going to be more long and drawn out and, you know, much more sad, like, you know, like cinematic, heart-wrenching, like Back to the Future type thing where he's like disintegrating slowly enough for you to like look him in the eyes before he dies. But I also didn't expect for it to be an accident either. The fact that, well, kind of an accident. Howdy, glad you can make it. Yeah, we're getting right into the meat and potatoes already. So I didn't expect for the actual deletion of Caine to be an accident. Like, I thought they were actually trying to get rid of him, or like, they weren't gonna have a choice. Like, it was either delete him or suffer for eternity. So the fact that it was literally from a fat finger was probably the craziest part. But based on episode 8 ending, I don't think you need to finish that drawing. Listen! Okay, listen. If they sent him to the wastebasket and they haven't emptied the wastebasket yet, he's still in there. Yes, I'm huffing copium, but he's still in there. They could restore him. Yeah, so the actual deleting part seemed to be an accident, but for the crazy people like me who frame by framed that scene of the lines of code, it's looking like more than likely it looks like Bubble put Caine's delete command in the line of code so that when Kinger accidentally pressed delete, it confirmed his kill code. So it's looking like it was actually an assassination attempt. I could see them bringing it back from the wastebasket. Please! Like, no, not every piece of media needs to have a happy ending. And I've been kind of expecting that. But if there is even a smidge of a chance that Caine's not, like, dead, please. Or even so, give him an opportunity at redemption. Because, like, here's what I'm thinking. And it is quite possible that it won't go in this direction at all. Since it looks like Caine's deletion was at least encouraged by Bubble, I'm almost wondering whether it's the abstracted or Bubble turning out to be the mastermind. I would like to see them bring Caine back so that he gets a redemption. Like, after attacking them, after everything that he's done, give him an opportunity to do something good. Like, fight back against Bubble, put the abstracted back in the cellar. Like, you know, it's like, okay, you get one more chance, don't mess it up. Oh, I should probably, take the, turn my phone off of vibrate. Otherwise it's just gonna be buzzing. Nope. Where is my sound settings? Silence. There we go. Silence phone, this is important. Yeah, that's personally what I would like to see. But, I mean, anything they do would just be awesome, because, like, this show has been such a ride. Not only has it been, like, a really good example of actually getting to see a passion project come to life, but it's just been a good story. The CNA stands for Cope You! Hush! Don't make me come over there. I'm only in a different room. I will come out there. My hubby trying to start stuff over here. Egregious as all the characters are facing their trauma and flaws, I think this could be Caine's way to grow. Yeah, see, because either, while I'd really like to see the whole, like, Caine to the rescue thing if they do bring him back, I also wouldn't mind, seeing, like, an opportunity at reprogramming. Like, they restore an old version of him and reprogram him to be better. Like, that would be cool. Do it, you won't? I will come over there. You don't have a microphone, so they won't... If I come over to your desk, they won't be able to hear me. But, yeah, that's what I'd really, really like to see. I am also... I can't remember if I said this in the last live stream or not, but I'm also on the side of the theory where if Bubble was... Because it's looking pretty obvious that Bubble is at least the remnant of the other AI. I think it would be really cool if Bubble actually was a mastermind. Like, if they had actually given Bubble the chance to, like, learn and grow and all that stuff, if he would actually have turned into an AM, like, given the ability to improve, if instead of, like, whimsical and everything like Caine was, if he actually would turn evil and they would be in suffering. Like, realize that he's smarter and more capable than everybody, and, like, actually torture them for the sake of torturing them. And then that could also add to the Caine to the rescue thing. Like, this guy is somehow worse than you, please save us. Oh, his eyes aren't moving. Sir, I need your irises, por favor. Hold up. Hold the phone. I gotta unlink the layers. There we go. There we go, that's better. Alright, I think that's all the inking I'm gonna do. I'm gonna save the bubbles from the, rough for last, because I'm gonna draw them lineless. So I'm gonna get right into the coloring now. Yeah, of course I've also been, like, going back and rewatching all the episodes to, like, look for, like, clues to things that we have solved now, and it is insane the amount of detail that, like, carried over, and the amount of, like, one-offs that turned out to be true. Having two AI to balance each other would make them less likely to go crazy. Yeah, to balance each other, because I've seen conversations that maybe they were originally supposed to work together, and then Caine, being jealous, just overtook the other one. So if both of them had the chance to balance each other out, that'd be fine. So maybe with that other theory that I'm hanging on to, if Caine is the creative one and, like, Bubble is, like, the logical one, then Bubble being left on his own and only having the logic could potentially lead to the, you know, I'm more powerful than you, you actually are my playthings. And of course, it would actually be really cool, if Caine comes back, like, instead of Bubble needing to get deleted as well, like, they actually do balance each other out, and they actually do get to work with each other. But I'm also still on the side of self-sacrificing, like, the source material. I really think if anyone's gonna self-sacrifice, it's probably gonna be Kinger. But I'm just wondering if the self-sacrifice would be because one or more of the AIs come back, or because if they don't sacrifice, they're literally going to be stuck in nothing for eternity. Because now without Caine, nobody's running the circus. There's no stimulation at all. So they're just gonna essentially be in the void for all of eternity. And I think being in the void with nothing is a lot worse than being with Caine. I'm sure some people might argue otherwise, but as crazy as Caine is, I would rather have somebody than nobody. Let's see. I can't see. Let's fix that. Boop. There we go. Now we can see. Da, da, da. I have an idea for an animation where I take a handful of my comfort characters and, like, try to defend them, and Caine is definitely one of them. And most of the explanations I'm gonna give are, like, just stupid stuff that's like, Your Honor, you ever have a bad day sometimes? Calling it now, Kinger is gonna die if they're playing off Caine and Abel's story. There is the mark of Caine and 10 times punishment. That is true! I forgot about that. Or 7 times is what I meant to say. Yeah, that's true. It could go either way. It could either go full, I have no mouth and I must scream, or, the actual, like, biblical reference to Cain and Abel. But yeah, no doubt in my mind, however a self-sacrifice goes, if that does happen, would most likely be Kinger at this point. I also want to see if it's going to be confirmed, and if the characters are going to find out that they never could have left in the first place. Because the other theory that's, like, becoming more and more true, as it looks like, is the fact that they're not the real people, they're copies that just don't know that they're copies. Your Honor, my client just needs a therapist and or a dentist. Exactly. 100% true. You ever get a cavity? Kinger specifically said, I killed Caine, not delete. I bet they use that to play in the mark of Caine. Yeah, that's true. That's true. Or, I mean, I guess you could also consider, like, he thinks he killed Caine, because, like, when you delete something, especially you delete something that's sentient, you know, your first thought is, oh crap, I killed it. I'm running out of copium. I gotta call up my supplier. Also would absolutely defend Caine in court. Bro did nothing wrong. Like, I gotta be realistic. As much as I love Caine, and as much as a lot of his actions are misunderstood, like, not even in a cheesy, cliche way, he did do some pretty dumb stuff. Like, the stuff that the players were venting about, he did do. But I guess you could argue that it wasn't, like, on purpose? Because, I don't know. Because, like, looking at an AI, obviously Caine is a lot more, sentient and aware than an actual AI, like ChatGPT or something like that. But AIs are meant to please, even if they have no idea what they're talking about. I guess the biggest difference with Caine, though, is that, well, because I'm trying to think. Like, he was trying to please his audience, but he couldn't understand why his audience wasn't pleased. However, even if it's false information, when you tell an AI something and they give an answer, if you tell them that answer is wrong, even if it isn't, they'll agree with you. They'll assume that it's wrong until they get another answer saying that it's right. The players were telling Caine that they weren't interested and actually trying to give him suggestions on things that they would like to do, but because he didn't come up with the idea, he still tried to twist it around. So he's smart enough to understand what people want. He's just too insecure, both literally and in a technical sense, to follow through. He's like, you know, if I didn't make it, then it doesn't count. Or, better yet, if I didn't make it, then I failed. If they don't like the ideas that I came up with, but like their own ideas more, I'm not fulfilling my purpose. So, like I said, as much as I would defend him, I can't lie and say that with his amount of intelligence, he did make some pretty bad choices. Like, just has enough self-awareness and has enough simulated humanity to do that. I think I'm gonna have to make, I don't know what that's actually called, but I'm gonna have to make the split in his vest a bit bigger. Let me do that. Caine was great at adventures, the game just didn't have good taste. Yeah, exactly, I would say that. It's like, are you kidding? This is awesome! Let me see, how am I gonna fix this? Actually, those are two entirely separate models, and one of them is in a pose, so I actually don't think I need to fix that. I'm gonna just leave it the way that it is. Never mind. Cause, like, I also, well, I don't think that this is gonna happen. I would love to see, after they realize that they're just copies and can't leave, them just feel absolutely bad that they spent so much time trying to leave when they could have found a way to enjoy the adventures. Like, yeah, as soon as you force anybody to do something that they don't want to do, like, even if it is right up their alley, they're gonna complain about it. But if they knew that this was their reality, maybe it could have gone a different way. It's like, shoot, this is all we're gonna know. Well, might as well make the best of it, you know? I'm gonna try some new render techniques that I haven't done in ages. Actually try and make it all spiffy. All that good stuff. I just need to actually remember to include the bubbles, because I'm worried that if I don't have the rough, I'm gonna forget. I also wouldn't mind making a video on, like, adventures that I would have liked to see if, the show continued. Like, at this point, it would be, like, AU stuff, but, like, if the show went on long enough to have more adventures, like, what kind of themes you'd want to see. I do think, because they did have that, did they actually turn it into a real game? I can't remember, but they did have that, that racing game that was a whole bunch of glitch IPs instead of just Digital Circus, but I think a kart racing adventure for Digital Circus alone would have been really fun. Like, see, like Mario Kart style, where the players actually, like, customize the carts themselves and then see what happens. Like, I think that would be hilarious. But here's the thing. While the main show is finishing up, what if they do go the route of bringing Caine back, what if that leaves things open for AUs? Oh, let me read the chat real quick. There's one part of the source material where they travel through icy caverns. They could have had an adventure that homages to that. Yeah, that would be cool. Like something with snow, like get some cute, like, winter outfits and stuff like that. Probably throw a Yeti in there, because I have a feeling that's exactly something Caine would do. But, like, because you know how sometimes when a show ends, like, they leave it open to imply that even though the main storyline is done, like, similar stories are still happening, like, just off screen, essentially, and you can just use your imagination to decide, like, what they're doing. That would be really cool. Essentially a thing that makes, like, that makes AUs canon, because technically they could be happening. Let's see, I need a shiny gold. You know what I bet they're gonna do? Because we have gotten, like, very, very little Jack's backstory. How much you want to bet they're gonna put all the Jack's lore at the very end? Daddy would be voiced by the big YouTuber they got for that episode. Yep, 100%. Or some, like, some big name of some sort. Yeah, I would put money on them waiting until the final episode to get, like, any actual lore for Jax. Would not surprise me in the slightest. Oh, I should probably make that, I should probably make the hat the same color as these. There we go. Vinesauce should definitely voice an NPC. Like, I think it would be awesome if they did get Vinesauce to voice something for Digital Circus. He should voice a weed whacker NPC. Yeah, because I really hope that scene with the flashbacks before Jax hit the button does not go, like, unreferenced. Like, I guess you could argue, oh, use your imagination. It's like, but what the heck was that about? Oh wow, I didn't expect to be done with the base coloring so soon. I guess I'm gonna be moving to, the rendering. Neat. Or a duck, yep, definitely. This is the type of show that could use some filler for more adventures. They're kind of doing that with the ads for, like, the toys, it looks like. But it's indie, so they couldn't afford many episodes. Well, not necessarily. I mean, yes, being indie definitely does affect budget sometimes, but also sometimes stories can just be told in the number of episodes that the creator wants. Like, look at Gravity Falls. If I remember correctly, Alex Hirsch planned to end the show when he did. It wasn't like getting canceled or anything. That's just when he chose to call the story good. So, you know, there's a possibility that Digital Circus was always planned to be short, and there's a possibility that it being indie definitely had something to do with it. But I feel like they make up for that with the length of the episodes themselves. Like, cause yeah, you could split that up into 7 or 11-minute episodes, but, you know, why not make an hour and a half, or not an hour and a half, why not make a half an hour episode that tells you all you need to know? But I'm gonna lead more on the side, oh my goodness. My words, they're getting twisted. I'm abstracting. I'm gonna lean more on the side that that's just how long they intended for the story to be told. Yeah, because nowadays, and I will continue to point this out until I get proven wrong, you know, even mainstream TV, what's left of it, you get lucky to get more than a season nowadays. It used to be, you'd be lucky to get 2, but now if you aren't, like, wowing people in the first 5 episodes, you could get canceled right off the bat, so... And I am still salty by one of my favorite animated shows, getting canceled at a cliffhanger. Of course, it was on Netflix, so at this point, you gotta kind of expect that. I would definitely... Oh, that's not the right color. Let me fix that. I definitely wish, and maybe with indie animation now, it's a lot easier to do, but I actually really like the format of just telling a story however long you want to. Like, if you have a story that can be told in 3 episodes, go for it. Like, at least your story gets finished, and you don't have to worry about getting canceled. Of course, I'm also, you know, an oddball that gladly listens to hour-long analysis videos on stuff while I draw. Like, so it just depends on the audience. I will also say, though, that it is really cool that as the animation budget got better for Digital Circus, the episodes got longer, too. Yep, somehow the lack of consistency when it came to runtime actually was worked in their favor. That is very rare. Oh shoot, I should probably decide where my light source is gonna be. I guess it's gonna be coming from this direction now. Sure, why not? I actually don't think I'm gonna use the multiply filter this time. I'm gonna try and actually render it with mixed colors. Try, anyway. It has been a very long time. But this is a special occasion, so no better time to practice. The fan art, though, has been killing me. Like, people are making the most emotional pieces on the planet. And of course, because I'm actually looking at them and I'm feeding my algorithm, I just get to see Caine die over and over and over again. But I do it to myself. No, that's not right. I'm gonna need to fix that. If the light was coming from this direction, it would probably be going like, My shading usually isn't super realistic. I'm able to do a lot of, like, cartoony cheats. So, that's what I'm gonna do. Like, shading has definitely been, like, one of my weak points. But I'm usually able to fudge it just enough that unless you were looking at it, like, with a microscope, you really couldn't tell that shadows don't work that way. Yeah, I'm gonna have the light coming from behind him, I think. And we're gonna go this way. There we go. Last 10 minutes of episode 9, Caine reappears and announces this was the Kill Caine adventure and he planned all of this. Ah, saddest part is I could see him doing that. You got the bad ending where you killed your only friend in this entire place and now I'm super peeved at you, so we're just gonna start this whole process all over again. You're welcome. Like, I can't believe I haven't mentioned this entire time. Maybe I do want to use the multiply. Let me see. No, I don't. Well, no, I don't. I don't. I'm gonna do it the right way. I would really like to see them actually, bring the abstracted back. Like, if it is possible to restore people who were lost, that would be sick. But if they're gonna go the self-sacrifice route, that's probably not happening. That, that could probably be a little lighter. So, let's do this. Oh, shoot. Did I get it all in one go or not? Then we're gonna fade eraser, and we're gonna go like this. Yeah, there we go. That's better. Maybe get a bit more of the color in there. There we go. I think I'm satisfied there. And we'll take this. And we'll put it over here. See, light's coming from behind, so it should kind of look like this. Okie dokie. Yeah, it's coming out pretty good. Pretty good for a first ever digital art try. Let's see. What to do about this? This I might need to actually use the multiply tool for. But we'll see. We'll try to be creative first. Not necessarily, if I'm careful. Let me see. I'm going to do... Well, here, let me try something. No, I'm gonna stick to my original plan. I'll make it work. Yep, so far so good. Let's see, what else can we talk about for the show itself? Trying to think of theories that either could be or were proved to be. Oh, I guess I could talk about this, because my husband and I were discussing it earlier. In the same line of code, there is a nod to, what Kinger's real name could be. And it's doing the whole, like, mystery thing where it's missing some letters. But, like, I went through it in my head, and there's really only certain letters that it could be, and it makes sense. Unless we get proven wrong, it's looking like Kinger's actual name might be Grant. Which, my husband and I were talking about that earlier, and honestly, especially for an IT guy, that's super fitting. But, oh yeah, I also just remembered that with Caine gone and the limiters also being gone, they might actually remember their names anyway and would be able to tell everybody. What if they can bring Caine back with limited powers so he can finally be like the humans? Yeah, that's the other side of things that I'm thinking of. Like, essentially reprogram him or send him back to beta, to be honest. No, shoot! I forgot those were on the same layer. Crap. Darn it, I'm gonna have to do that again. Well, I guess since this is a solid color and not actually, a multiply layer, I can get a little creative with it. Yeah, like, or my other way of looking at it, not just, like, limit him. Oh, wait, hold on. I'm having an idea. Like, so you know how, like, in Aladdin, where they wish Genie free? What if it's a situation like that, where, like, yeah, they limit him so that essentially he's like a player? Just like you said, like, it would essentially be like the humans. He would still have the ability to conjure, but at a more player level, and it would make him both less powerful and also more, I keep repeating myself, but more of a player. I would love to see that. But it's looking dangerously like we're not gonna get a happy ending, so... Exactly, yeah. Well, that's how my AU's gonna go, and no one can stop me there. In my fanfiction, nobody dies and everybody's best friends. And everybody is appreciative of the adventures. He put a lot of work into those. Yeah, there we go. We're getting somewhere. There would be less disconnect between him and the players and they could resolve their issues. Yes. Exactly. Or not even just resolve them, but like be able to come and go essentially as they please, like they were trying to tell him. So that would work perfectly. Yeah, like don't get rid of him, just literally knock him down a peg, you know? Seeing Caine just walk for 2 seconds in episode 8 felt very human. So, I don't know if people just forgot or what, but like there were nods to him like walking normally when things got serious before. It was in, I think, one of the first toy ads, if not the first toy ad that they ever made. Cause like, yeah, I think... I'm gonna have to go back and look. But at least in that toy commercial, he did walk normally because he was pretending to be serious. It turned out to be, a misdirection. But technically, he has done it before. But that's an eagle eye thing, you know? I'm gonna leave it the way it was. It was fine. Maybe a little of this. Alright, I'm gonna need that shading again. Okay. Let's see. Yeah. There we go. We're getting somewhere. Yeah, that's looking pretty good. Not bad. Alright. The pants are gonna be a bit tricky, though. Oh wait, no, I'm going the wrong way. Here, I'll just fill them in first. Caine must be pissed that Pomni, like, Gummigoo over him. Both were AIs. Yeah! I saw a theory because there was one episode, I can't remember which one it was, where, wait, it was the rapid fire, adventures, where Zubal's like, well, why don't you just leave your adventures open so we can do what we want when we want? And Caine's like, are you hearing this? You know, she wants to let the, AI run for a period of time. Somebody mentioned that that might be because he was afraid of the AIs doing the same thing to him that he did to Abel. Like, being left alone long enough to be smart, wondering why they're taking orders and essentially take his place. So, yeah, that could make sense. That they liked an NPC more than Caine, and that's one of the reasons why he lost it. There's also something we haven't gotten confirmation for this yet, but even if it's not canon, it still makes sense, and it's at least kind of like a cool reference. So, Scratch, the co-creator of Caine, essentially, you know, we know that he had a tumor, and that made his thought process, you know, very extravagant. Oh wait, I'll come back to that, hold up. Or it could be something like running more AIs take up RAM and makes him less effective. Yeah, that is also true. That's also true. Yeah, more space, and then he gets weaker and probably can't control it as well. But, going back to what I was saying, Scratch had a tumor, and Caine probably wasn't, like, trained off of his brain specifically, but maybe in, like, kind of an homage thing, Bubble almost acts like a tumor to Caine, even more so in episode 8, because, like, he messes up his thought process, like, becomes more and more negative as the show goes on, and he can't get rid of it. Plus, also, like, more and more bubbles kept forming, and he was trying to pop them. So, like, probably not in actuality, just, especially because Caine is 2 halves of a whole AI. Like, yeah, that... No, not a tumor, like a parasitic twin. Yeah, you parasite. So well, what? I don't want to get too gross, but there is a thing where, like, a parasitic twin is essentially a tumor. There's a name for it, and I can't remember what it is. But yeah, Bubble, kind of seems that way. Yeah, Bubble absolutely is an allegory for a tumor. An allegory, if not, like, you know, actually based off of Scratch. Oops, a little too much there. There we go. Maybe 80 more? Sure. Ah, yes, the details that, nobody else but me is gonna notice. But because I noticed them, they're important. Actually, I probably could fill that whole spot in. There. Get back there. Hey, it's coming up pretty good. I'm still on the fence with this little spot of shading right here. I can't decide how much I want to keep and how much I want to cover of the base color. Oh, did I figure it out? Let's see. Close. I have this really bad habit, especially when I do shading with the light sources behind characters, of pretty much just making them all the shading color and no actual base color left over. I don't know why. Maybe like this? Maybe? That's still way more than I want to do. I guess, realistically, it would look like that. Maybe there's something I can do. Hold on. Because if the light source is going to be behind him, maybe I can take some of this out. There we go. There. That might work. Yeah, that looks a little better already. Okay. That's for the solid white, though. I'll use it anyway. Why not? We'll see how it looks. Yeah, that's fine. Oops, careful. I saw, and my husband and I were having this conversation the other night too. We were scrolling YouTube together, and we saw a thumbnail for a video, which I'm not going to, like, actually give the name of because I don't want to be mean, but It was a, what do you call those? Video essay? It was a video essay about Digital Circus, but it was talking about how it had terrible words. It was talking about how it had a terrible narrative, and I'm like, we've watched the same thing, right? Like, what do you mean it has a terrible narrative? Like, people are entitled to their opinion, and I know how sometimes, like, I know how sometimes it seems like a lot of fans have the same opinion and just ignore the flaws of something. But when it comes to the actual story of Digital Circus, I can't really find any flaws. Or, like, flaws that, like, set it apart from any other story. Like, maybe the only, like, narrative flaws I would give it is that some plot points don't get brought back. But usually it's because compared to the plot points that do get brought back, they're not that, like, what's the word? They're not that essential. Or it's specifically, you know, left to your imagination. You know, you fill in the blanks yourself because it's kind of obvious. But that's just me. I do wonder, though, because the pilot came out, like, what, 3 years ago? I do wonder how much of the story got rewritten to be a commentary on generative AI, because especially in episode 8, what they were saying about Caine felt very on the nose to how Gen AI is treated. You know, you're not letting us think outside the box. You lie to us constantly. You know, things like that. Ah, shoot, I did it on the wrong layer. There we go. Because, like, a lot of the time, like, you might have a specific story in mind from day one, and, like, the conceptual writing is essentially the filler. So I wonder, like, if the commentary on Gen AI, like, was the filler part, or what? Because I'm fairly certain that wasn't a thing when, at least not to the degree it is now, when Digital Circus first came out. So I wonder how much they changed specifically for that. Let's see. Yeah, I don't think that much light would be on his front teeth, the way that I have it set up. I did it again, gosh dang it. Good gravy. I'm gonna have to name my layers. Sheesh. There. Correct layer, if you please. I gotta remember to actually put light sources in here too. Alright, on to the mouth face, I guess. I still can't imagine the nightmare that is, the rigging for Caine's model. Like, I'm not a 3D modeler, and I'm not even an expert. I just know some things because of art school. But, a lot of the time, they will have different models for specific like gestures or specific facial expressions, like extremes. So I imagine Caine probably has multiple models for multiple different things. But like, to have your entire face be not only your like eyebrows but also do your vowel sounds just seems like a nightmare to program. I'm glad they pulled it off, because they pulled it off really well. It's just absolutely insane that somebody not only like conceptualized it but actually made a model out of it. Because like, some characters work best for the medium they were made for. Like, some characters work best for 2D and some work best for 3D. Caine definitely works best for 3D, but the fact that some people... Oh, shoot, get back here. The fact that some people can draw him just as well in 2D is nuts to me. That is some crazy talent. I've been trying. Like, Caine's art style is definitely way out of my comfort zone, but because he is my comfort character, I'm at least attempting it. Let's see. There we go. I might actually need to make the shading on his gums essentially a itty bit lighter. I think they're too dark. Yeah. Maybe I'll make the outside shading lighter and the inside can stay darker. Alright, let me see if I remember how to do this. Nope, that's not right. Okay. Alright, let's do this instead. Fade. Maybe like right there. Try that, see how that looks. Probably should have been paying attention to the amount. Whoops. That's okay. We'll just do it over. No big deal. Yep, so I'm excited. Like, it's been really cool to see an artist's passion project not only come to fruition in the first place, but also get such an overwhelmingly positive audience, really. I mean, yeah, there was that whole thing that was short-lived that, you know, was the whole reason I was drawing Caine in the first place. You know, the fans, like, getting mad about crazy stuff and Goose kind of not really feeding it, but, like, getting a bit more involved than they should have and, like, you know, arguing with people about it. But that was both very short-lived and also, like, just an itty-bitty minuscule part of the fandom as a whole. Like, there's gonna be drama, and there's going to be, like, fan disagreements in any piece of media. I'm just glad that for once, the negativity actually stayed the minority and didn't get blown out of proportion. And even the little bit blown out of proportion that it did get was still incredibly small, all things considered. Like, it's nice to see a good story being told by an artist who's passionate about it and supported by people who are equally invested. Very refreshing. Yeah, he's coming out pretty good. I'm liking things so far. Not bad. Yep, we're almost ready for the lighting details. All right, let's get his eyes next. Alright, this I'm probably gonna have to, do the multiply tool for. Because I can't, like, cover his whole eye like that, so let's see. Why don't we do a different shading layer? Let's see. How do we do this? We'll put these back here. We'll do a different shading layer like this, and we'll go from there. Let's see what happens when we use the same color as before. Something like this. And then we do a little bit of this. Let's apply. No, not quite. Let's see. Yeah, that looks pretty close. No, multiply is probably our best bet, and then I'm gonna go like this. There we go. Yeah, we might actually finish his entire print this time around. Let's see. Maybe it would be better if I shrunk it just a little bit. Like, yeah, about right there, I think. Let's see. And then the second eye over here is gonna need more shading on it, like... probably the whole thing, to be honest. Let's see. No, I think I can get away with it pretty similarly. Like this. Maybe a little more. Yeah. So, long story short, I'm excited. Whether I absolutely bawl my eyes out, whether I'm angry, whatever emotion that I'm feeling by the end of the series, it will have been an amazing ride. Good story, good animation. You know, it's been great. It's been nice to see. And we might not necessarily get another digital circus, but at least, you know, what we got was pretty dang cool. Oh, yep, just remembered. Gotta add the bubbles. Don't want to forget those. They're coming. They'll be next. Alright, let's see what I can do about the detail on those irises. I want to actually try and give some depth to them. Alright, we're gonna try this. Get some airbrushing going on, shall we? Here, let me take the shading off for a second so I can see what I'm doing. There we go. Yeah, it's pretty good. Yeah, I saw this this tutorial on Instagram of all places that was talking about how, well, a lot of artists do use the multiply trick to get shadows for certain colors, and especially if you're only using one color for the whole multiply layer, it can make parts of the art look pretty weak. So they talked about, even though it's extra work, at least for the pieces that have a lot of rendering to them, it's actually not a bad idea to just use darker colors of the darker colors of whatever you're shading instead. And that's what I'm trying to apply this time around. And I think it actually has helped a lot. Like, the only thing I needed to use the multiply tool on was for the eyeballs because of the irises. So that's I think I know what I'm gonna be doing more often now. No, it's not dark enough. Come on. It has been a long time since I've been this detailed. I want it to look good. Okay, how about the other side? Yeah, since the rest of the prints that I've made have had a simple gradient as a backdrop, I'm not gonna get super crazy with the background. At least not yet. Like, I might hold on to the Photoshop file and make a version with a crazy background, but for right now, I'm just focusing on the character art themselves. Okay, now we need some lighting. Oh wait, I'm going about this all wrong. The darker parts need to be on the outside. Like, they need to be like this. There we go.
How's the cope stream going?
It's going fine, thank you. Don't make me bring up how Cable. Don't make me bring up how Abel was there from the beginning. I will.
CNA stands for Cope and Abstract. Love you.
I love you too, you goober. Goodness gracious. Here, why don't I just do this? This might make it easier. We'll fill the whole thing and take out what I need.
So I'm pitching this idea just because it seems to keep happening.
Uh-huh.
Gordon keeps falling asleep right next to you every time you stream.
Yeah.
I think you should have a cat cam.
I should. If not a cat cam, I should have, like, an addition to my PNG tuber where it's just a little Gordon sleeping.
But he always sleeps, like, right there every time you stream.
True.
Perfect.
Well, maybe I could if I get a better quality webcam and stand it up facing him. I probably could.
I'm sure everyone would love to see the little guy.
Yes. Gordon cam would be nice.
Big yawn.
Oh yes, that would be essential too. I'd have to capture the big yawns. Goodness, this is proving to be the hardest part so far.
Which part?
I'm trying to make his eyes, like, actually look like eyes with textures and everything, but it has been a while. I'm out of practice.
So what I usually do when I draw eyes on the inside of, like, the outer ring of the iris, I usually have small lines, like, tapering inwards towards the pupil that are a slightly darker shade.
I'm probably not gonna go that deep. I'm mostly just, like, doing, like, just a soft outline, but maybe.
So, you know, get a printer or something.
Nah, it's okay, dude.
Okay.
I know what you mean, like the whole, like, do
Yeah, like that.
yeah. Oh, that's creepy.
Why, was it very real?
Yes. I'm mostly trying to make sure that it's even.
That's odd.
I love you. But thank you for the input. That'll probably come in handy down the road. Well, that's about where I want it. I'm gonna have to soften those edges, though. We'll come back to that. Alright, in the meantime, let's also do a little bit of this too. Nope, not light enough. Like right there. Oh, that's the eraser. Duh. That was pretty dumb. What the heck did I do? Oh, I see what I did. Okay. Don't mind me, just breaking my stuff. You know how it is. Okay. Then an itty bit of this. Yep. Man, when I had more free time in my day to just draw just because, I used to do exactly that. I used to make entire AUs for stuff to continue the story, especially if it had ended one way or another. Like, I really should get back into that. And Digital Circus would definitely be a good place to start. Yeah, that looks pretty good. I mean, if you zoom in, you can kind of see where things are messed up a little bit, but that's the best part. You can't zoom in with a physical print. Haha. So nobody will know. Except for the fact that I just said so, but shh. Don't tell anybody. Alright, so we're gonna do the same thing. I'm gonna fill it, and then erase as necessary. Okay, just making sure it's on the right layer. The other thing that I'm really surprised by, going back to talking about the actual show, I'm really surprised how soon the last episode is coming out in relation to episode 8. Because, like, what, 3 months apart? That's not that long at all. And I imagine they were working on the episodes side by side. But part of me thinks that, like, the reason why it's so close is because they knew if fans had to wait for too long, a riot would probably start. Or, you know, we could have just been blessed with a very short wait time. But that's pretty cool, though. He's coming along. He's coming along pretty good. Alright, he needs some lighting. Just a little bit. A little lighter than that, I think. A little more. Alright. And then we'll do the same thing that I did. Oh wait, hold on. I'm gonna fix that. Try again. Take 2. Try to make it a little more even than that. There. Yeah, okay. Alright, we'll get rid of those edges very carefully. Just like so. Yep. Yeah, okay, alright. Did I take away too much? Or did I not make it dark enough? Shoot, I don't think I made it dark enough. Crap! Why'd I do that? Dang it. Or maybe if I do this and just not take so much of it away, that might help. Yep, there we go. That's better. That's better. Yep, you should be done soon. I've only just got the bubbles to make and then adding the backdrop, and we'll call it a night. Oops, get out of my way. There we go. There we go. It's not a Caine fan art with ridiculously detailed irises compared to the rest of him. Oh, let's put the shadows back on. There we go. That actually looks awesome. I like that. I like how that came out a lot. Right. Now we just gotta shade his hat. We'll move on to the lighting part of the rendering and the bubbles, and we will have a Caine pretty soon. Or a complete Caine, I should say. Alright, make sure we're on the right layer, because that's always a must. There we go. Not an airbrush. Give me back my regular size, por favor. Thank you. Ta-da! I will also say... Oh, that's a airbrush too. Boop. I will also say, like, I rarely ever, like, sympathize with villain characters. Like, usually how I am with villains, and Caine's not, like, a villain, he just did something villainous. Usually, like, I wish they didn't have to die, because I feel like things could have been resolved without them dying, sometimes. But, like, you know, depending on what they did, you know, they're still villains. Like, I wouldn't root for them or sympathize with them necessarily. And Caine kind of counts, but he also kind of doesn't. Well, it's hard to tell, because, like, yeah, he did take over the 2.0 AI bubble, essentially. But he did that because he was made for a purpose, and the people who made him decided that he wasn't good enough, and instead of deleting him from the beginning, they locked him up and made him watch the other one be made. Which seems nuts to me. But there's a couple directions that a theory, like, could take away from that. You know, there's people saying that maybe they were supposed to work together, and the 2.0 wasn't actually a replacement, it was a leveler. And I've also seen theories saying that, I doubt it because of the colors, but, you know, we could be wrong. I've seen theories where the red dot that overtook the blue one might not have been Caine, it might have been Bubble. But that's... I guess if that theory ended up being true, it's like, you know, maybe Bubble tried to take over what would be Caine, but Caine still got made first. And it's similar to Doey in the sense that, like, even though he's made up of multiple people, like, you can still tell which one takes over and when. So maybe. But I don't think so. I think the blue one was meant to be the other one, which in turn would be Bubble, and, like, Bubble's tormenting them since they're stuck together. But that's just me. Actually, I think I will airbrush that a little bit. Not too much, just enough to give a sense of lighting. I can't decide. What if I put this one on a layer? Actually, that almost looks better. Let me try it with a different color. Like right there. How's this look? Yeah, that looks better. I like this one. That's better. Yeah, the next thing on my things to relearn list as an artist is texturing. I used to be really good at certain textures, but then as I focused more on character design instead of environment design, it kind of fell out of practice. Yeah, because back when I didn't care so much about, like, quantity, and I spent more time on the actual, like, rendering of things, I was really good at certain techniques. But even though this is a good problem to have, because of the amount of time that I've spent on, commissions and stuff, and the business side of things, I haven't had as much time to devote to, like, textures and other techniques that I used to be a lot more involved with. So, I need to make some time for me to just draw just because. Let's see. Maybe a blue would work? What does his screenshots look like? Yeah, I don't think I made them discolored enough for that. Or maybe. Let me try. Yeah, you can see that just a little bit. It's not too bad. Doesn't need to be perfect. Just needs to get the point across. Actually, instead of white like that, I think I'm gonna go back to the light blue. We'll see how that looks. I did just realize something, though. It took us until the second to last episode to get a floss joke with Caine. Like, they spent the entire series avoiding, like, teeth jokes almost entirely. That is some restraint. Okay, I don't think I actually need lighting on the teeth. I think it's fine without it. I'm gonna take it off. Because, like, there were no, like, toothbrush gags, no floss gags, no eye drop gags. Like, that is some serious restraint. Yep, right until the second to last episode. I do wonder how often, like, this is gonna sound stupid, but I wonder how often, like, Caine would, like, you know how you bite your tongue by accident? I wonder if he ever bites his eyeballs by accident. I feel like that'd be agonizing. Like, I cannot imagine what it must look and feel like to have your optics inside of your mouth. That just feels like a disaster waiting to happen. But animals have had crazier adaptations, so maybe it's not that out of the ordinary. Yep, we're getting there. Oh, shoot, I missed a spot. Let's fix that. There we go. There's also a detail that I want to point out that I'm sure, like, was on purpose, but still. They kept asking for normal adventures, like stuff, like, grounded in reality. And yeah, there was some wacky twists and turns sometimes because, Caine is Caine. But when they got adventures that were more grounded in reality, that seemed to make them abstract faster. Because, like, the stuff that you deal with on the regular is already hard enough. Like, who goes... And I get it, you know, it wasn't completely their fault. But who goes into a game where anything can happen and want to do stuff that they do normally? Like, the point is escapism. Like, there's such a thing as extreme escapism, but why would you... Okay, never mind. I play The Sims. I just ate my words in one sentence. Never mind. Moving on. Well, no, even then, that's slightly different, because, you know... there was that meme, of the person who made a sim and, like, essentially carried out their day with the same schedule that they would normally had, and the sim, like, got depressed instantly. So even when you're playing games rooted in reality, you still change it to something that you don't have yet. So yeah, why in the world would, of all the crazy things that you can do in the circus, you choose to go back to working in fast food? Because you thought the craziness of, like, wild, wacky, whimsical adventures was too much to handle. Adventures that get a little too real, somehow that's not a problem until it's too late. But to each their own. Yeah, I gotta go back to learning how to do, clothing wrinkles, too. That would come in handy. That wasn't something I was ever very good at, anyway. Like, I did enough of a wrinkle, like, to get the point across, because my style's always been cartoony. But even from the beginning, I wasn't that great at that. It's coming along. Hopefully I'm not missing any spots. Yeah, almost there. And we'll add the bubbles. I might go back through, I think I mentioned this earlier, but I might go through the other prints of the other characters that I made already and actually give them backdrops as kind of like a 2.0s. And maybe even fix the proportions on some of them. Yeah, kind of like make reduxes of the prints that I've already made. Spiff them up a little bit. Ah, that looks a little weird. I'm gonna take this piece off right here. There we go. It's coming together. Yeah, and after the Caine art is finished, I think I promised that next week I would do Arc again. So not only will we be returning to video games, but I will be continuing where I left off in Arc, and I'm gonna have to try and remember what my objective was last time. I think I was just trying to build an army again because we lost everybody again. So I'll take a peek at the last Arc livestream that I did to see what I was up to, and I can remember what the heck I was trying to do. Alright. I need some lighting for this. I'm gonna do what I used to do for lighting way back in the day. There we go. Yeah, not bad. Yep, he's looking pretty good. I think all I need to do now, and I keep repeating myself, I know, but just gotta add those bubbles and the backdrop of my signature, and he's good to go. And I am gonna try and make bubble transparent. I actually used to be really good at making bubbles, too. Like, you know how sometimes you have, like, a phase of, like, specific art tricks that you just do over and over again? Mine used to be bubbles. Like, once I figured out how to make, like, decent-looking, bubbles, like, that were actually transparent and everything, I added them to my art a lot, even if it didn't make sense, just because I thought it was cool. Oh, hang on. Let's put it on a different layer, just to be safe. Right there. Yeah, for my stylistic, backdrops, I used to just add bubbles to things for no reason whatsoever, just because I could. Let's see if I remember how to do this. Yep, that's about right. Okay. So, we're going to take an airbrush. And about right in the center, we're just gonna lightly do pressure taps. There. Let's see. Close. We need a little bit more than that. So let me take the bubble face off. And then let me see what giving it a bit of a stroke does. Nope, not inside, outside. There we go. Ha! Yeah, that doesn't work. That looks like Eldritch Horror. Hang on, let's do this instead. Let's have it filled. Do the stroke, like so. Yep. Yep, okay. Outside, yep. A little bigger than that, yep. Alright. Rasterize the layer so it's together. Yep. And then do the eraser. Try that. Ooh, not quite. Not quite. There we go. Yeah, that looks a little better. Yeah, there we go. I think I wanted a little bit more blue than that, though. But we're getting it. Yeah, that's better. That's what I want. See if I can't up the hue a little bit. Nope, that's pink. I need blue, pretty please. Nope, too light. There we go. Alright, let's get the face put on there. And let me see. I'm not going to be able to do it exactly, but maybe I can cheat a little bit by having a kind of darker blue outline for the teeth. And then just like filling it the same way I did with Caine. I'm gonna give him gremlin corners. Oops. Please tell me I did this on the right layer. That'd be great. I did. Good. I remembered! For once. Oh shoot, I forgot I'm gonna have to do this twice. Oh well. Just had to add 2 bubbles, didn't I? Oh well, can't rush art. There we go. Yeah, that looks good already. I like it. I like it. Yeah, what I really need to do is I need to do more photograph studies where like I take a photograph and then I try to recreate it in my style, like mimic the shading and all that stuff. I think that would be a huge help. Come on, Bubble. Trying to make your pearly whites here. Yeah, I think we'll be able to have this finished in, like, the next, like, 20 minutes or less. Probably a lot less with how things are going. But he is almost finished. And then I still have, I have Zubul that I need to finish. I have Gangle that I need to start. And then that should be the main cast before I move to the side characters. But, yeah, so I've at least almost got the main cast finished. I will say, though, that Bubble is definitely the easiest one to draw on paper, for obvious reasons. Because I've been trying to practice sketching Caine on paper, and I can't help but add bubbles. Mostly because they're easy to draw, and it makes the sketch feel complete. Come on, Tooth. Work with me here. There we go. And then need some eyeballs. A little deeper than that. Like right there. Oh yeah, that's much better. He looks like a porpoise. Like a dolphin, if their teeth were bigger. A little lighter than that. There we go. I'm gonna see if I can soften up those lines a little bit. Where's your outline? There it is. Yeah, I'm gonna do that trick that I did earlier, because the lines are kind of jagged. I don't want to airbrush it, because I think it might make him disappear, so I just need to very carefully get rid of some of these. Just soften it out a little bit. Actually, you know what? I think the stroke kind of messed it up. Let me see. From a distance, it doesn't look too bad. I don't know. It just feels like something's missing. I mean, it's probably because, like, he doesn't have hard outlines and Caine does. I don't know. Some just doesn't feel right. I don't know. Let me try something. Let me try, maybe the colors are too muted. I'm gonna try a trick real quick. Yeah, see, that looks better already. It just needs to be lighter. I see what I did. I can fix it. There we go. That's much better already. I like it. Okay. Let's get some texture going on over here. And no, I'm not just... Well, actually, never mind. I might end up eating my words. I will wait to finish that sentence.
Which words are you eating?
I was gonna say, no, I'm not just gonna copy and paste this bubble and do a different one in the corner, and I'm like, you know, actually, I might do that. Never mind.
I mean, they are... oh my god. I mean, they are identical to each other.
They are, and it would only be like the actual bubble shape. I would draw a different face on it.
Yeah, look at that little chain chomp.
Yeah, it's coming out pretty good.
Say it again with a bit more enthusiasm.
Yep, not bad at all. I say that a lot, but I mean it. Now this, we can actually airbrush some of it away. Just a little bit. Put this over there. Give it a little bit of this. Just a smidgen. And then very lightly put some hard highlights back onto it. Try not to make people motion sick with the zooming in and out. Yeah! I like it. I like it a lot. It's always good when you actually like the thing that you make. Oh yeah, maybe I think I figured out what else was missing. I'm gonna need to apply some lighting to the teeth, but I think I can do that, no problem. Okay, let's try this. Come on, give me my pen back. We're in the home stretch. I'm almost done. Come on. Closer. Nope. I think I turned Bubble into a piranha by accident. But that's okay. Similar energy. Why not? Not bad. I like it. I like it a lot. Alright, let me put all these into a folder so I don't lose them by accident. And I'll actually name my layers for once so that I know what's what. But just one more bubble. And then a backdrop, and then we're done. See, that's the teeth. Those are the lines. Oops. There we go. That is not how you spell lines, madam. There. Lines. Highlight. Get back here. Highlight. Shadow. One of the cool things about not having a eye tracking VTuber at the moment is when I need to look at my keyboard, my model doesn't freak out, so that is a decent trade-off for now. Let me try something. Since this can go over the lines, I think it'll be okay. Wanna work, dear?
Yep.
Okay. Love you too, dear. I'll see you in the morning. Yeah, thanks for joining in on the stream tonight. I appreciate it.
Popping in like Bubble, just leaving rage-bait comments.
You should throw a freaking beach party. Love you, dear. I think this is like the most effort I've put into a piece of fan art, at least, in forever. Feels good. I should try to make it the norm. Oh wait, which layer did I put that on? Shoot. Okay, hold on. Hold the phone. Yeah, let's not do that. Just to be on the safe side. Yeah, because I erased a lot more than I meant to. We'll do a second one. How about that? There we go. That's better. Alright, locking in. Locking in. We're in the home stretch now. There we go. Maybe a little darker than that. Just a smidge. Hold up. I need to take a little bit more of that off. Here. I'll come back to this part. I'm gonna make the second bubble. I'll come back to that. And I'm gonna do exactly what I almost said I wasn't gonna do. And just do this. Take this. Oop. Excuse me. I need all your layers. Thank you very much. Do this. Scooch. Let's see. Where's that other one at? Boop. There we go. Scooch. I'm gonna do a different face. I'm just reusing the same bubble body, essentially. Minify. Put it over here. Alright, we'll take the face off for now. Doot. Where did that go? Oh, the layer that I'm currently staring at right now. There. Boop. And then we'll take that off. Do the same thing over here. Need more teeth. And I don't think I need that, I don't need that, words. I don't need that rough to know where to put his teeth. Well, now I have a pretty good reference to go off of whenever I draw Caine fan art in the future. And it just figures the comfort character print gets the most attention compared to the rest of them, but, you know, special occasion. Alright, need those pearly whites back. Boop. There we go. This is going to be a bit tricky because it's from a side profile, but we're going to make it work. You know what I would love to see, now that I'm thinking about it? They probably won't, but I would love to see a Digital Circus ad for merch, or just because, where, Caine is doing a Bob Ross impersonation, and he's, like, painting on a canvas, but whatever he's painting on the canvas is actually happening to the circus, like, parallel dimension type stuff. I would love to see that. Fix this up a little bit. There we go. Perfect. I like it. It's coming out pretty good. A little bit more of that out of here. Okay. We can actually take that off since the teeth are in the way. What layer is this? Nothing yet. I guess that's gonna be the eyeball? No, that was gonna be the shading. There we go. Right. Pearly whites. Ba-da. Da-da-da-da. We need the fangs of malicious intent going on here. There we go. And we need a new eyeball. One of these. I think I'm actually going to rotate him just a little bit. Let me put that eyeball on first. Oh, wrong color. How hard is it to draw an oval? Thank you. Okay, we're going to take this bubble and we're going to rotate him a little bit. That way. There we go. You know what? I think I'll shrink him a little more too. Just a teeny bit. And put him over here. There we go. Alright, and just one last detail. I'm not gonna, because I go through the gradients list for my backdrops, and I am not going to give anybody seizures. So after I finish the shading for the bubbles, I think I'll call the stream good. I'll save the background details for later, because I already give people enough vertigo zooming in and out. Don't need to give seizures to. No thank you. Okay, there's one. Just figures that the second bubble I was working on, I got the shading done, like, first try. Okay, 1, and... just to make sure that I am in the right place and don't draw on the wrong thing by accident. And 2. There we go. Yep, the gremlin energy is starting to shine through. I'm gonna add a little bit to the lip area here. This. And I think, unless anything sticks out to me, we are done. Let's bring the other bubble back in here. Boop. There we go. Yep, we've got ourselves a insecure, wacky, whimsical ringleader dentures and piranha bubbles. Wouldn't have it any other way. Excuse me, I need all your layers. I guess I'll have to do it the old-fashioned way. Nope, not that one. This one. There we go. Scoot him over a little bit. In post-production, I might add like a third bubble right here, just because it feels a little empty. Like, I might even copy and paste this one and put it over here. But yeah, for everything that we've been through since I started, this looks pretty good, not gonna lie. I'm satisfied. Scooch it right over there. Perfect. Then I think we will call it a night. Right. Thank you so much, everybody who joined me tonight and talked about the show. As always, I'm so glad you're here. If you liked what you saw and wish to support me, feel free to like the video, maybe subscribe if you haven't already. I'll see you next time for some ARC on next Tuesday stream. Love ya, bless ya, and peace out.